This is ABC 7 News at 6.
The Pentagon says it is ramping up efforts in the Middle East, adding additional troops and firepower to the operation. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Iran is also ramping up its retaliatory strikes across the region, while in Washington, Congress is taking up a war powers resolution weighing in on whether the president should get congressional approval before any other military action. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest from Washington.
From the perspective of a periscope camera, Central Command today released images of a U.S. submarine sinking an Iranian warship with a single torpedo, the first since World War II. And this image of an Iranian missile landing in a field near a Syrian airport shows just one of the 11 countries now involved in this war. As it escalates across the Middle East, the White House is adamant U.S. operations are ramping up and are equipped to outlast those of the Iranian regime.
They are toast, and they know it. Or at least, soon enough, they will know it. And we have only just begun to hunt, dismantle, demoralize, destroy, and defeat their capabilities, just 4 days in.
The Pentagon today said more than 50,000 American troops, 200 fighters, and 2 aircraft carriers and bombers are now part of the mission. In Washington, Democrats and some Republicans have slammed the Trump administration for going around Congress. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer responding to Secretary Hegseth's briefing.
What he is saying loud and clear is this: we're at war, and this administration is signaling more escalation ahead. This is insanity.
The Senate today taking up a war powers resolution vote to potentially limit the president's military capabilities unless he first goes through Congress. A separate measure is also making its way through the House.
It would empower our enemies, it would kneecap our own forces, and it would take the ability of the U.S. military and the commander-in-chief away from completing this critical mission to keep everybody safe.
The White House today called on defense contractors to produce more weapons stockpiles while reiterating its message that the U.S. has enough to execute this mission. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Senator Angus King spoke out shortly after voting yes on the war powers resolution that he says would have disapproved the president's use of force in Iran, forcing the administration to call forces back until there is, quote, due discussion with Congress and the American people. King says while he has no sympathy for the Iranian regime, he says he voted yes to the resolution because he says the Constitution states it is Congress who can declare war, not the president. The president only has the power to protect the country from imminent attacks, such as a missile heading for the country or an invasion. He says there was no discussion or debate before the strikes on Iran were executed, and there was also no discussion of what the next steps are.
The rationale, the supporting arguments for this action have been varied and different every day this week. And that bothers me because it indicates to me that the administration did not have a clear rationale for going in or a plan for what happens now.
Senator King says he is also worried about the people of Iran. He says Trump and others are encouraging them to go out and seek change, and that could put them in danger from the remnants of the current regime. He says promises to protect those people can't be upheld with air support and could likely require boots on the ground to fulfill. Meanwhile, Senator Susan Collins also sent out a statement after her vote against the Iran war powers resolution. In her statement, Collins said in part, quote, "We cannot tolerate a nuclear-armed Iran. The Iranian regime's pursuit of nuclear capabilities, ballistic missile development, and support for terrorist proxies pose serious and longstanding threats to the national security of the United States and our allies." She went on to say, quote, "Passing this resolution now would send the wrong message to Iran and our troops. At this juncture, providing unequivocal support to our service members is critically important, as is ongoing consultation by the administration with Congress," end quote. Well, investors in the U.S. might feel a sense of trepidation regarding the events occurring in the Middle East and its ripple effect on our economy. Our Doug Banks spoke with a local financial advisor about how people should navigate the stock market during its current volatile state.
This is John Byrne, a financial advisor with over a decade of experience.
No day repeats itself.
The recent joint strikes by the U.S. and Israel on Iran is more than enough to cause a ripple effect within the U.S. economy and make investors wary of the stock market's future, something Byrne currently describes as
volatile, but it's not unusually volatile. I try to reassure my clients that while the causes may be different, the results in the markets aren't that different.
He recommends people keep a broad and diverse mix of investments.
We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket.
Invest in companies with strong management teams who are experienced in getting through
whatever the volatility of the day is.
And proactively rebalancing accounts.
Can make some of the scarier days a little easier to get through.
The recent events can be seen in everyday life. A Gas Buddy report showed the price of oil jumping over $10 a barrel and a predicted 15 to 30 cent per gallon rise at the pump, as hundreds of ships are currently anchored in the Persian Gulf. But Byrne reassures that these spikes could be short-lived.
Those types of cost spikes on energy tend to be fairly short-lived as well after geopolitical events like this.
He advises folks to not get caught up in the short-term noise. Don't make reactive changes. Don't let politics influence investments, but do stay focused on long-term goals.
Stay focused on why you're investing, why you're saving this money, because what happens in the next month in terms of our investment performance is unlikely to have a major impact on the actual outcome 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now.
In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news tonight, a Bangor woman has pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit bank fraud. According to court records, between July and October of 2024, 46-year-old Nicole Kelly and others fraudulently obtained money by entering banks, impersonating legitimate account holders, and using fictitious cards to gain access to their bank accounts and withdraw funds. Records indicate that during a search of a co-conspirator's residence, investigators seized 2 fictitious driver's licenses and other people's names that had Kelly's image on them. Kelly faces up to 30 years in prison and a maximum fine of $1 million. She will be sentenced at a later date. A beloved business in a rural Maine community was lost to an early morning fire. Our Alex Schley has more on what this local establishment has meant to the community for generations.
Around 4:30 Wednesday morning, first responders received reports of a building fire at the Sebec Country Store on Milo Road.
Upon arrival, there was heavy smoke from the side of the building.
Owner Allison McCormick says her husband was plowing the parking lot when he spotted the smoke. Sebec Fire Chief Mike Harris says when crews arrived, the call was quickly upgraded to a 3rd alarm fire, triggering mutual aid from 8 neighboring departments. With no fire hydrants in Sebec, crews shuttled water from Foxcroft Center Road in Dover-Foxcroft.
A quick attack on the fire and got the fire knocked down as quick as possible.
Despite the quick response, McCormick says the interior was severely damaged. Residents say the country store opened in the 1960s and has long served as Sebec's only convenience store. But to many in the town, it was more than a place to grab milk or gas. It was a community gathering space that allowed residents to connect.
It's a very community-oriented establishment. A lot of people meet here for coffee and breakfast in the morning.
They've become family especially with the morning crew, but everybody comes here at different times, and they've offered the community a lot of good things.
Harold Baird, better known as Buddy, is one of the regulars you can find there most mornings.
The riffraff shows up at 5 in the morning.
Well, what is that? How many of you guys are there?
Oh, probably 5, 6, 7 guys, wood crews.
Gosh.
Guys that cut wood and guys that are still cutting wood and welders and stuff.
The McCormick say the state fire marshal's office told them the fire was electrical. They say they do have insurance, but it's unclear if or when they will be able to rebuild. In Sebec, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Here's hoping they can make those necessary repairs. Well, a bill that would change law enforcement at the state capitol was heard in the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee today. LD 2165 is a governor's bill, co-sponsored by Senate President Matty Daughtry and House Speaker Ryan Fecteau. The bill aims to restructure the Capitol Police as the department currently stands and change supervisory authority to have the Maine State Police run Capitol law enforcement operations. If passed, duties to patrol the Capitol would be passed to state police troopers through attrition, meaning vacancies in the Capitol Police Department would be filled by state police personnel. The bill has proven controversial, with some saying it will provide greater security and support to Capitol officers, and others worrying about a pay gap and difficulties in the transition.
They care about the mission, they care about you, They care about this complex, and they were looking for help. I think they were looking for additional resources. They were looking for a different structure.
This bill will cause chaos, confusion, and uncertainty within the Capitol Police. Numbers provided by the Commissioner of Public Safety, as you heard, makes that pay parity difference annually of about $100,000 to replace one Capitol Police officer with one state trooper.
A work session is to be held on this bill at a later date, so stay tuned. One of the 29 nonprofits that received money after the Lewiston mass shooting is giving back the money to help the families of the victims and the survivors. 18 people were killed and 13 were injured after a gunman opened fire at Just-in-Time Recreation Bowling Alley and Schmenge's Bar and Grill. In the aftermath, Maine Community Foundation set up 2 funds, one to help the families of the deceased and those injured, and another fund called the Lewiston Auburn Broad Recovery Fund. Since the shooting, family members of those who died and survivors have said they have incurred bills they are unable to pay. They've questioned how some of the money from the Broad Recovery Fund was actually used. Nonprofit The Root Cellar is giving back the $65,000 it received and used for trauma healing groups. Their executive director says it is their sincere hope that other nonprofit organizations and individuals will do the same to help alleviate as much ongoing need as possible. And folks, we'll pause now and take a first look at our forecast.
Thank you, Beth. Many of us saw that 1 to 3 inch snowfall last night, with a few of us exceeding it, getting to that 4 to 5 inch range. But a lot of it melted away today with some sunshine, a few clouds passing out there now. But here are our highs for today, reaching to the mid 40s, feeling like spring out there after we saw some winter last night. Those mid 40s reached all the way up in the Presque Isle, 44 for you, same in Holton. And we even saw some 50s out there. You can see that in Stamford for today at 50 exactly, in Freiburg at 53 this afternoon. So for tonight, we're going to see some increasing clouds. Another cold front is arriving from the north. That's going to bring some scattered snow showers into the northern tier of the state. Some of it may try to make its way into the Bangor region as the cold front continues to move into our area for tomorrow. Otherwise, staying dry with cloudy skies out there, and much cooler air is filling in from the north. We have a big change in our forecast. Yesterday, we were forecasting mid to upper 30s, looking at mid to upper 20s now, so a 10-degree drop in that forecast from yesterday. So much cooler air is filling in for tomorrow. You're going to see that beginning tonight with some cloudy skies making their way in, a few flurries out there, especially north, with lows hanging out in the low 20s. Beth?
Chase, thank you so much. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, voters in Stonington have ended the town's contract with the Hancock County Sheriff's Office for dedicated patrol services. We'll be right back.
What matters more? A bank with innovative products, or one that cares for the community? At Bangor Savings Bank, we think it's both, because our innovation helps customers build stronger credit, earn rewards when shopping local, give teens independence and financial experience, and simplify business with local solutions. So what matters more? You.
With Maine's largest network of parts, Coastal Auto Parts keeps things moving. If it's got wheels and an engine, we've got the parts to keep it on the road, from work trucks to weekend rides. If it's on the road, we're behind it. At Coastal Auto Parts, we're driven by more than engines. We're powered by the people who count on us, because serving our community is what keeps us going. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
Nice sleep center, Bob. But what's a Bobopedic?
I could tell you, but I'd rather show you.
Oh, Bob's got a feel for your budget.
They deliver right to your door. With 30 years of sleep experience,
the best warranty, and so much more.
Bob's Bobopedic, from your head down to your feet, it feels like no mattress you felt before.
Wow!
Uh-oh.
Bob's Bobopedic.
A sharp pain in his chest. He knew it was his heart, but 2 hours from the big city hospital could tragically mean the end. But it wasn't. Thanks to Senator Susan Collins' tireless fight for Maine's rural hospitals. Because of Senator Collins' work, his local hospital had recently received up-to-date diagnostic equipment and upgraded facilities, all paid for with new federal funding. Lives are being saved. Call and thank our Senator Susan Collins for delivering this lifeline for Maine.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Stonington residents have voted to immediately terminate a long-standing contract for dedicated patrol services from the Hancock County Sheriff's Office. Town officials say the narrow vote came down to budget concerns, but some locals fear this could impact response times. Our Grace Blanchard has more.
In a tight two-margin vote, residents have voted to cut funding for a dedicated sheriff's patrol shift in the town of Stonington.
This issue has come up, before for townspeople in the past.
According to town officials, Stonington has had a long-running contract with the Hancock County Sheriff's Office to have a designated deputy in town 3 days a week for deterring crime.
There are also residents in town who want increased police presence. It's really just a matter of the additional money.
According to Fifield, the sentiment among residents was that they were covering the cost for services they should already be receiving by paying county taxes.
I also heard from a lot of residents that, they felt like by virtue of the fact that we're at the end of the line, that we're sort of subsidizing the police presence, increased police presence for everybody along the way.
Town records highlight the sheriff's office responded to more than 400 various incidents in Stonington last year. Just one day before Monday's vote, one of the town's main markets was vandalized. Some locals feared this decision could impact response times to the area.
It's nice to have someone available on short notice, and it's usually short notice that you want,
Fifield says police coverage will still be available despite the contract ending. He says increased patrol is needed across the county, which is up to the county commissioners to allocate funding for.
I don't understand why the county commissioners don't see and hear the need that their towns are asking for additional police coverage.
In Stonington, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, city officials are seeking out Maine's most creative and artistic minds for their latest art installation. And in sports, the Maine men's hockey team is looking to close out the regular season on a high note versus Vermont this weekend. That story after the break.
When Maine winter bites, nothing matters more than keeping your family warm. The solution is simple, a high-efficiency heat pump installed by Valley Home Services. It's the quiet, reliable warmth you need all season long. At Valley Home, we're your elite Fujitsu dealer, ensuring expert installation that delivers consistent comfort and maximizes your energy savings. And we make it easy to switch to efficiency heating and qualify for those valuable Efficiency Maine rebates. Stay perfectly warm without the high cost. For a warm, worry-free winter, trust the local experts. Valley Home Services. Winter warmth is waiting. Call us today.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
You're never gonna believe who called the Cabin Masters.
Who called us?
Joe Bornstein's office. They have a small project for us.
How small?
Pretty small. It is on the lake.
Got $1 million views.
Well then, let's show them we mean business.
Did you know that Joe Bornstein has helped over 25,000 Maine families?
In all 16 counties?
Yep.
They're wicked good lawyers.
Fighting and winning for injured Mainers for over 50 years.
Good job, guys.
Nice. Injured Mainers know to call Joe.
What matters more? A bank with innovative products or one that cares for the community? At Bangor Savings Bank, we think it's both because our innovation helps customers build stronger credit, earn rewards when shopping local, give teens independence and financial experience, and simplify business with local solutions. So what matters more? You.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. The Maine men's hockey team plays their last regular season game on Saturday at Vermont. Our Jack Webb was at practice this week to catch up with the red-hot Black Bears.
Any win at this time of the year is important.
The Maine men's hockey team picked up 2 massive wins this past weekend over Northeastern, who was just 2 points ahead of the Black Bears entering the series. It was a weekend that encouraged Maine hockey fans as they watched an inconsistent squad find their footing with a sweep of the Huskies at 2 neutral sites.
That weekend was huge. Obviously, the standings are super tight still. And yeah, they're obviously right above us going into that weekend. So we wanted as many points as we could, and luckily we came away with all 6.
Gives us a lot of confidence the last few weeks, just knowing that our work in practice is starting to pay off in games for us. So obviously with the results, we're not a result-oriented team. We care about the process, but it's good to see the points falling in the right direction.
So what was the difference last weekend?
I think it's really the mentality of the team. I think there was a lot of belief this weekend on the bench. You know, obviously we shut them out the first night, but the second night they start to come back. They're playing good hockey in the third, and I think the belief on the bench, we knew that if we stuck with our system, there's no way they're going to beat us.
In an up-and-down year, one constant has been the presence of senior forward Owen Fowler, who scored 2 goals on Friday night.
I mean, he's always been a hard-nosed kid that plays the game the right way, but he's really he's found another level.
Obviously playing with them. 2 great players on my line, and with Sully and Josh. But I've tried to play my game the whole year, and physical, get on in their D, forecheck hard, and just generate pucks to the net and kind of cause havoc.
Going into this final weekend of the season, the Black Bears could finish anywhere from 3rd to 6th in the Hockey East standings. However, they're just trying to control the controllables.
Just trying to be where our feet are and focus on what's in on the room, the guys and the coaching staff and our systems, our structure. I think, like I said, when we're playing our best, we can play with anybody in the country, and our big focus this weekend is getting 3 points on the road.
Maine will close out the regular season at Vermont on Saturday night. Puck drops at 7 p.m. From Orono, Jack Webb, ABC7, Fox 22 Sports.
And now for some exciting news from the Maine women's basketball team ahead of their America East quarterfinal matchup versus UNH on Thursday, as star senior Adriana Smith has been named the America East Player of the Year. Smith becomes just the 6th Maine-born athlete to win the award, and when you break down her stats this year, there's no question as to why she was selected. She leads the conference in points, rebounds, and assists per game, and is the only player in the nation averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. Smith also ranks 12th in the nation with 17 recorded double-doubles on the season, and her 55 total in her career is the most in the America East since 1994. Smith was also selected to the All-Defensive Team and the All-Academic Team with a GPA of 3.79. That's all the time we have for sports. Here's your full 5-day forecast.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Stone Artisans. For fast, beautiful countertops, trust Stone Artisans, your main stone supplier, at 249-3040. All right, highs out there for today reached into the mid-40s after we saw some snowfall last night. So we had winter last night. We got spring out there for today as everything is melting out there from the snow we received last night. Low to mid-40s along your coastline, but you can see in Sanford and Freiburg in the low to mid-50s out there for today. And those mid-40s even reached all the way up in the Presque Isle this afternoon. Same for Holton as well, as they were both near 44 this afternoon. But for tonight, a strong cold front is moving in. It's going to bring some snow showers further north, but you can see those temperatures falling into the single digits. We got teens in Millinocket. Our lows will be right around the low 20s for tonight, and that cold front will continue to move through for tomorrow. Yes, we'll get a little bit of daytime heating, but not much. We're looking at our highs to reach into the mid to upper 20s for tomorrow, while highs hang out in the teens further north. So our average high right around 36 degrees. We're going to be back below that for tomorrow, but check out the temperature trend, right? We do have a warming trend on the way. Heading into your weekend, we'll be back in the 40s on Saturday, low 50s on Sunday, and we even got 60s in the forecast right now for your Tuesday. So yes, we're looking to jump well above average as we head into next week. Those highs still hanging out in the 50s for your Wednesday afternoon. So winds a little breezy out there for today. You're seeing some much more gustier winds up north. Frenchville sustained at 23 miles per hour right now. That front is beginning to bring a little bit of wind, and we're going to see that throughout tonight into tomorrow. For the most parts of the night tonight here in Bangor, our winds will stay pretty light ahead of that front. You're going to get the breezy winds up north with a chance for a few scattered snow showers out there tonight. Not much will fall with that, and we're not really going to see much snow for tomorrow either. If we do, it'll stay north. We'll stay dry here in Bangor, and the cooler air and the breezy winds will really fill in for tomorrow. Many of us looking at gusts near 20 miles per hour at times. As we head into your Friday, things begin to warm up again, back into the mid-30s, and we do have a chance for a little bit of snow down into the southwest near Portland. in, so that gives us that slight chance for snow. Not much of this will reach into the Bangor area, so expect to stay dry. Here we are into Friday afternoon, just some cloudy skies and those highs warming back up into the mid-30s. So out there for tonight, we have the cold front on the way. We'll see some increasing clouds, becoming mostly cloudy. We'll see some light snow showers north. Otherwise, we'll see our lows hanging out in the low 20s as we head into tomorrow. Not much warmer. Highs only in the mid to upper 20s because of that cold front. Cloudy skies. Of course, it's going to be cooler with those winds becoming a little breezy from the northeast, gusting near 20 miles per hour at times. So here's a look at your extended forecast. We're back in the mid-30s for your Friday and then into the mid-40s for your Saturday. We can see some rain showers north throughout the day as we head into your Saturday night. Rain will become more likely here in the Bangor region, but that will get out of here by your Sunday. Highs back in the low 50s with decreasing clouds, and then into the mid-50s for your Monday to start off the work week. We're going to see some sunshine and warmer temperatures throughout the week as well. Beth?
Chase, thank you so much, and we will be right back.
I'm Jonathan Bush. I've made my career disrupting the status quo, creating jobs, and helping people achieve their American dream.
Jonathan Bush. He's a veteran, a conservative leader, and Maine job creator.
Maine needs big change. State spending is out of control. We need to audit Augusta, reduce waste, cut income and property taxes. I will shake up Augusta. I'm Jonathan Bush. I look forward to earning your vote.
I'm a big believer in super beta prostate. You'll notice less urges to urinate, and you won't be getting up at night for so many bathroom trips. I wouldn't say it if I didn't truly believe it.
You heard it was a hit. You heard it was a smash. A wonder. A phenomenon. An international sensation. But you haven't heard them.
March 16 at the Cross Insurance Center. Get your tickets today.
Whether you're hurt by a landscaping truck like this, a work van like this, or any commercial vehicle, we know how to get you the big money you may deserve.
Hurt by a commercial vehicle? Call the twos. We win for you.
The Sylvia Ross Home in Bangor provides 5 professional levels of care and support for residents. We have access to a registered nurse on campus 24/7. Our weekly entertainment consists of a variety of live musical performances and bingo games twice a week. Our on-site beauty salon is available with a professional stylist, and we have 2 libraries that offer computers and Wi-Fi. Sylvia Ross Home is a warm, welcoming community. Please join us anytime for a tour and lunch.
Bangor Beautiful and the Bangor Region Chamber of Commerce are calling for local artists to contribute Bangor-themed repetitive pattern designs to be included in a large community mural in downtown Bangor this summer. The artist who will ultimately be responsible for the mural is Portland artist Rachel Gloria Adams. The designs submitted must be in black and white and accompanied by a short statement explaining why the pattern represents Bangor. The muralist will be able to change the color and scale of the pattern for incorporation in the mural. We'll have a link to the site where you can submit your designs on our website, foxbangor.com, a little bit later on this evening. And that is going to do it for us, folks. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great rest of your night. And for more coverage, you can join us over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30.
tonight. The war with Iran. Middle East countries caught in the crossfire. Americans desperate to find a way out. U.S. assets targeted. Strikes from both sides intensify. Plus, key results in the first midterm primaries. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the #1 newscast in America.
Huckleberry's Card and Gift has a wide selection of puzzles for the entire family. Local.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. We're done. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Judge.
Sorry, excuse you, may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
I feel it was totally unnecessary for her to win, but I'm not the judge, so what can I say?
It's not being petty. That's my foster brother. I'm helping him out because he's helping my mom out.
It's about something else.
And it seems like family member do you wrong before a stranger will.
We had a big fight in front of our mother, and now she wants to bring me to court because...
Oh, he disrespected me, called me out of my name, and I disrespected him.
She's upset because my mother's still mad with her, so now she's... It's good.
It was just been bad ever since then. We ain't spoken years.
This diminished it.
Because he was helping my mom out. And that was the only reason why. Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't help him out.
Because why would you take me to court, bring me on national television to try to make a fool out of me over a lemon?
You rock, Judge Judy. I love you.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
The White House says U.S. ground troops aren't currently part of the plan for its military operation in Iran, but also didn't rule them out. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. As President Trump touts the effectiveness of the strikes so far, Congress debates his wartime authority. Fox's Caroline Shively reports.
The Pentagon says more U.S. forces are on the way to the Middle East as the military prepares to hit targets deeper into Iran. U.S. and Israeli airstrikes continue pounding Tehran. Wednesday, another police base in the Iranian capital was hit and destroyed. The military even bringing in B-52 bombers to join the fight. Those have been in service for more than 60 years, after previous missions took out the bulk of Iran's anti-air